Forward TV. The world is thinking.
But how it was received in America, where they saw themselves as a sort of the centre of democracy, and this was a challenging sort of analysis.
It's the most disappointing reception, and I have been talking to agent and publishers and journalists about it. There's been a grumpy reaction, and I think for several reasons. First of all, reviewing space in mainstream dailies in the United States, book reviewing space has declined by probably 50% in the last 10 years. That's a disaster. The substitute internet-based book reviewing culture is not altogether strong or impressive. The Huffington Post complained that it was too long. That's its principal complaint. The Internet Review of Books took offense to the rudeness about the United States. I mean, I say in the book, and it's controversial and it's against Fukuyama and others, that actually if you look at the Founding Fathers between 1776 and 1787, none of them were Democrats. They all despised the word. They thought of democracy as what had happened in Greece, and it's a recipe basically for disorder and enfranchisement of ignoramuses. And what I say is that democracy had to be fought for in the United States on the basis of this new Republican Constitution. Well, the Internet Review of Books complained that this was un-American. They said actually anti-American. And I then began to wonder about the kind of melancholia in the United States. It is a declining empire. It was the great 19th century laboratory experiment with democracy. Many things happened in the United States for the first time. The first political party named Democratic happened there. The fact that a civil war was fought over two competing definitions of democracy. Were they Greek, assembly-based, slave-owning, or were they modern representative democracy? And it was resolved, of course, in favour of the latter. It was the first democracy to formally end slavery, and so on. But I point out that all this happened during the 19th century and before World War I in the context of rise of empire. And I know that several reviewers took offence to this, that you have tied together this remarkable experiment in forging a representative democracy by linking it with empire. And of course, a democratic empire is a contradiction in terms and in fact. The book points out there have been three empires that were democracies. Athens, which was defeated militarily by the Macedonians. The French revolutionary Napoleonic France, which was also defeated militarily because of its expansionism, and it gave, by its actions, democracy a bad name in various parts of Europe. In Russia, a key reason why democracy never took root, why the plant of democracy never flourished, is because democracy was associated with the conquest, with the rape and pillage of Napoleon's troops. And the third historic example of democracy and empire is the United States. It's the first ever global empire. It operates in all four corners of the earth. Its key remaining resource is military power. It spends more than all other states on the face of the earth on military armaments. And as you see, it's not going well. And what I think Americans didn't like about this book is that it was a very frank outsider's view of the decline of the American democratic empire and asking the question, what comes after this? I think it's one of the great 21st century questions.